In a year fraught with difficulty and uncertainty, the Rockhurst faculty transformed their practices and classrooms to meet the challenges, continuing to better the students' experiences. Here's some of the good news in their own words.
Hi, I'm Anthony Ray. I teach modern world history to our sophomores here at Rockhurst. One of the things that I really enjoyed getting to do this year is using breakout rooms, especially on virtual days. At the beginning of the year, I was kind of worried about a virtual day. I had a class of 40, so I wasn't really sure what that was going to look like. Kind of thinking about some of the other things that I was worried about this year. With social distancing, I didn't think we were going to be able to do group projects anymore. I was also worried about, with my remote learners, if I could trust the validity of their assessments, knowing that they weren't in a classroom taking them. And so I really wanted to do projects, but I didn't know how the guys were going to be able to collaborate on those when we needed to social distance. And it ended up becoming really a kind of blessing in the sense that on virtual days, that's usually when I introduce a project, and then I'm able to just have Zoom put them randomly in groups, so I don't have to worry about assigning breakout rooms. And then I just give them that time after we've gone through the project's instructions and kind of explain it to them for them to meet in their groups virtually, and they get started. Usually it's something that's a shared Google Doc or Google Slides or something like that. And so they'll have a day to work on Zoom, and then as long as we are back in school afterwards, they'll continue to work on that project in class, and then I can work with them in the classroom. But it's really allowed me to have really some great group projects. A lot of them have stemmed off of the kind of role, taking a role projects that we got in professional development at the beginning of the year. For instance, my students did letters of recommendation and resumes for European explorers, and then they also countered those with letters of concern from indigenous peoples and other people that were oppressed by those explorers. And most of that was done digitally. So breakout rooms at first were something that I didn't know how I was going to use them to make sure the guys were being productive, and they've actually ended up being a huge part of my curriculum this year.
Hi everyone, Sam Anderson. I'm the choir director here. I have had some really great experiences with Zoom. Actually, parent-teacher conferences went really well. I know we have a lot of parents who are in the business world and they can't necessarily make it to 9301 state line, so that was a great thing to have parents who maybe wouldn't have been able to travel to the school to have a parent-teacher conference. Also, I've met with a couple parents who maybe a student was having a hard time. It was just great to connect with them on a video format. Also, I've brought in clinicians to work with the classes. A friend who works at Ohio State and just come in and talk to the guys. Someone who couldn't necessarily afford to fly in can come in and talk to our students. So lots of great applications. I also think just being a kind of a club moderator, having all these choir students, having parent meetings, like a choir parent meeting, super easy with Zoom. You could do it Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Everyone can stay home and check in. You get more people in attendance. So just lots of things, if we think outside of the box, that we could use with this, I think could be really cool for our future. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Ashley Christopher, and I am the theater director at Rockhurst High School. And this year, one of the big positives for me was the block schedule. When we have an hour and 15 minutes to do an arts class, we have a lot of time to keep things flexible, to make changes, to keep the day more interesting for the students. We can work on multiple projects in a day and have plenty of time to clean up and really delve into those projects. So I really have enjoyed working with the kids and going more in depth with them because we've had a lot more time to do so. We also are able to do more warm-ups and concentration activities and things that really build teamwork and camaraderie in the classroom. And so when we have that extra time, we can do that and still accomplish the objectives for the day. So it's just been a really wonderful experience, and I'm really enjoying the extra time that I get with the students in the classroom every day.
So one of the reasons I really like the block schedule is because it allows us teachers to kind of think freely about how we want to use the extra time we have in class. And one of the ways I use that extra time is to take a step back from the content and talk about how it might apply to our students' lives outside the classroom. So whether it be with their faith or in sports or socially, I think it gives us a lot of wiggle room to talk in a more meaningful way about how the content affects their lives.
The COVID-19 safety requirement and the virtual learning have prompted many changes in instruction and the assessments in Mandarin Chinese class. Based on my observation and student feedback, students like the challenges and benefit from the performance-based curriculum. I think the block schedule works extremely well for the performance-based activities in Chinese classes. Students have enough time to improve pronunciation, practice new sentence structures, give feedback through formative assessments for me to reteach. I can also take time to explain assignments and walk students through a few examples. I have used performance-based projects to replace many of the quizzes. I don't think I can achieve the same result without block scheduling. As a foreign language teacher, I used to think that students would retain their language skills better if we meet every day. However, my observation and the student performance proved to me that their retention rates are even better if students fully understand the concept and feel confident to apply their language skills.
Hi, I'm Zach Nelson. I'm a teacher here at Rockhurst. I like Google Classroom for the organization and the resources. This year, with all the COVID and having kids in and out of school, my Google Classroom page is pretty organized. For the kids, I think it helps them know what they have every day, even if they're in school or out of school, even online. It's pretty uniform, so they know what they have every day. I like it for the resources as well because, yeah, it's organized, but now, since it's all the materials from each class is posted, they have quizzes on there. So anything they miss, they know what they have.
So Google Classroom has been a helpful tool for me. You can create a topic for each unit, and under the topic you can have the materials, the study materials, you can have questions that you ask, you can organize assignments by date, quizzes, tests. So I do everything there on Google Classroom. One thing that's been really helpful is if someone's missing an assignment, I can say, look at Google Classroom for the assignment on March 10th, and they can easily find it. So for me, it's been a great organizational tool, and I think it's helpful for the boys as well.